From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
And live from the CBS studios in San Francisco, it is Saturday, August 2nd, and this is the news at 5. And we'll begin with the weekend invasion of the Deadheads. Today, as you know, being day 2 of San Francisco's celebration of the Grateful Dead's 60th anniversary. Thousands celebrated the light rock and roll icon and the Grateful Dead's frontman, Jerry Garcia, in the Excelsior district before heading to Golden Gate Park for day 2 of the Grateful Dead's anniversary concert series. Concert started about an hour ago, and among the many folks out there is Da Lin to join in on all the fun. He's live at the north entrance for the outdoor concert. Da, having fun?
As fun as it can get right here. Well, Polo Field, where they're performing, is all the way in the back, and right now that Polo Field is filling up fast with a lot more Deadheads streaming in. As you can tell behind me, they're just packed with a lot of people. Sturgill Simpson is doing the opening act as we speak. He took the stage about 30 minutes ago. Dead & Company will perform later on this evening, and this place is expected to get busier and crazier. Now, earlier in the day, though, a lot of Deadheads went to another part of the city to take part in a festival to celebrate icon, of course, Jerry Garcia. Rocking out in the Excelsior neighborhood, where Grateful Dead frontman Jerry Garcia grew up. Fans danced and celebrated the 23rd anniversary of Jerry Day at McLaurin Park with live music Saturday morning.
It's medicine music. That's what it means for me. It's very spiritual. It's like going to church. It totally takes me out of my head and brings me into connection with the divine.
Deadhead Antonio Eversano was one of hundreds packing the Jerry Garcia Amphitheater. He says this weekend has been nothing short of a spiritual experience.
The energy of the summer of love, the whole counterculture in the 60s, peace, love, community, celebration.
Deadheads flew in from across the country. Many attended Friday night's concert and plan to participate in every Grateful Dead related event this weekend to mark the band's 60th anniversary.
I think the Deadheads are probably the nicest, kindest people you'll ever meet in your life. Like I said, huge community, big heart.
Yeah, we're here to pass it on to the next generation.
Deadhead Deanna Nyers traveled from New York with her 2 kids to see Dead & Company and spread a little love.
We printed a bunch of them, and we love the community that it brings, and so we are just handing them out for free to everybody. It says Grateful Dead 60th in San Francisco 2025.
A common theme in Grateful Dead songs is resilience through hard times, and Deadheads like Antonio say that message still hits home.
This is about community. It's about getting along together. It's about celebrating life.
Yeah, it is sold out for today. They expect about 60,000 people at the Polo Field here in Golden Gate Park. Very busy, hard to find parking around here. So for folks who are heading out this way, public transit and rideshare taxi, those might be the best ways to get out here. By the way, Brian, I do feel a little out of place because everybody's got very colorful shirts. I need to find tie-dye somewhere to include into this report next time. So for now, I'll send it back to you.
Da Lin, and the week's most dangerous live shot. Thanks very much. Keep on trucking, especially if that guy's standing behind you. As San Francisco celebrates the 60th anniversary of the Grateful Dead, we're getting a look at some never-before-seen candid photographs of the bands during their early years in Haight-Ashbury. And Elizabeth Cook takes us back to see where it all began.
Along the San Francisco waterfront, a gathering of family and friends, some decked out in tie-dye and dancing bears, took a trip back in time.
This is as close as you can get to it without having lived it yourself. It's amazing.
It's unbelievable, and so, like, this one's so good.
On hand, a collection of rare photographs, most never seen before, of the legendary Grateful Dead, as seen through the lens of the late Jim Marshall.
It was here in the Haight-Ashbury nearly 60 years ago that the well-established photographer met the newly formed band.
In the 60s, the neighborhood was the epicenter of the counterculture movement, a hub for hippies, artists, and musicians. The Dead and Marshall called it home.
Everybody who was anybody wanted to be at the Haight in 1966.
The band allowed the photographer to capture candid, intimate, and unguarded moments of their lives.
Jim Marshall's photos of the Grateful Dead are truly genius, documenting genius. Phil is offering the camera a joint.
Dead scholar David Gans and Marshall archivist Amelia Davis curated the collection. From tens of thousands of photographs, hundreds of proof sheets, and 168 boxes of Kodachrome slides. They also interviewed family and friends and published it all.
I like to call the book a love letter to San Francisco, Jim Marshall, and the Grateful Dead.
The work shows the band on stage and off, relaxing with loved ones and fellow musicians, performing at county fairs, even performing at KPIX.
What he taught us about the Grateful Dead was fascinating.
One moment in time in Golden Gate Park when the Dead tried to play a memorial concert to honor the slain Senator Robert F. Kennedy. The police shut it down. That's Garcia pleading with an officer on horseback.
Each picture, it triggered an immediate memory.
Acclaimed photographer Michael Segaris is blown away.
I mean, I could go on and on. There are just so many moments.
Moments frozen in time, breathing new life into the Grateful Dead.
All right, let's tie the weather back into this because the third day, tomorrow on Sunday, is probably going to be the nicest day of all three at the polo fields. And even if you're not crazy about Dead & Company and you're not going to the show and you want the forecast that'll apply to you, just open your mind a bit, man. It's all connected. I'm going to show you how this plays out over the course of the next few days because this does have impacts Bay Area wide. That's tomorrow. What does it mean if we're going to have sunshine at the polo fields tomorrow? That means everybody is about to get noticeably warmer temperatures, not hot, but a warming trend is going to start to kick in. And look where we're going to be tomorrow. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. City does not have any marine layer on it. I think you'll probably still have some clouds out there on the west side. This is when the show starts tomorrow. But as we go through the night there, it's going to stay clear, relatively clear. And then as we get into Monday and next week, we're going to turn our attention to the warm-up. And that really does become the story. Let's come back to the virtual map here. We'll say goodbye to the clouds and take a look at where we're going to be. I'm just going to jump ahead in the numbers to Wednesday. I'll show you what tomorrow's going to feel like, and we'll get the whole forecast up in a bit. But this is the middle of the week. This is actually, those are Thursday's contours on there. And I'm going to get out of the way, look at the numbers. When's the last time you saw numbers go to the upper 90s? Look at Antioch. Look at Concord, 92. Look at Livermore, 91. Now, that's not where you're going to be tomorrow. Temperatures tomorrow will be a lot more manageable, and we'll walk through that in detail. I'll see what the full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. For now, Brian, back to you.
Darren, the Alum Rock Union School superintendent is out. Board of Trustees voted Thursday to terminate German Serta. No reason was cited. He's overseen the embattled district since September of 2024, which included the closure of 6 schools to try to deal with a $20 million budget deficit. One parent said that he did not like the secretive way the school board effectively did the termination.
How do you fire somebody with 3 minutes left in the meeting for no cause? There's something wrong with that. You have a contract with this man, you live up to the contract that you signed with him, and that's what you deal with.
The termination will take effect in 10 days. In a statement, the board president thanked Mr. Serta for his service to the Alum Rock Schools community. In other news this Saturday afternoon, one person's in the hospital today after a crash that sent them down 100 feet down a creek. This happened on Monticello Road near Circle Oaks. Cal Fire and Napa County Fire responded to the crash late last night, and they used low-angle rope rescue operations to get the victims out. Coming up next, standing up for transgender rights and standing against the Trump administration when we come back. And welcome back. August begins Transgender History Month. On day one, California and 15 other states filed a lawsuit to block the Trump administration's investigations into hospitals and doctors who provide transition-related care for minors. The complaint argues the administration wants a national ban on care for transgender minors. Lauren Toms has that story.
It was a moment of joy and powerful defiance. A massive wave of blue, pink, and white swept across Civic Center Plaza to mark the start of Transgender History Month in San Francisco, just the 4th year with such a distinction.
I feel hopeful. I feel inspired. I feel loved.
Jupiter Peraza led the effort to have San Francisco and eventually California recognize August as Transgender History Month. Now she's celebrating 10 years in the city where she found herself and her community as a trans woman.
Knowing that San Francisco has that legacy of being a sanctuary, not only for immigrants, but for LGBT people.
But as this community rolls out their flag, Washington is rolling back their protections. President Trump's second term began with a slew of executive actions repealing rights for transgender Americans, reinstating the ban on transgender military service, restricting funds for gender-affirming care, and declaring the government would only recognize male and female genders. Jupiter met the sting of policy shifts with preparation.
But this time around, I felt prepared. I felt ready, I felt confident, I felt sure of myself, of my community, of the resilience of my community.
Many feel like it's rolling back progress this community and their elders have long fought for.
This is a period of loss. This is a period when we have lost ground. Rights that we fought for, rights that we thought we would have forever are in question, are challenged, or are completely ignored and forgotten.
Miss Bob Davis is a transgender historian. They say these times feel all too familiar, looking back at the 1950s when some states banned gender-affirming surgeries after Christine Jorgensen became the first American widely known for undergoing the surgery.
We were getting rights. We were getting recognized. Medicare included surgeries. Other transgender health care was covered. Insurance companies were covering it. And now we're losing all that. And so right now we're in a period of retrenchment.
Jupiter recognizes the Bay Area is a place of privilege and protection, knowing in some states like Texas, gender-affirming healthcare has nearly disappeared. That's why she says this celebration is more than symbolic. It's a reminder that rights aren't guaranteed.
Every day I wake up and I'm proud to be trans. I'm proud to have this perspective of transcendence that not a lot of people get to have. So I want to fashion that feeling of pride, of being grateful into how we come together and how we organize and how we have moments of joy and happiness.
Showing that visibility can often be the strongest form of resistance.
All right, let's start off with what probably should be the headline in this forecast. We're about to get a little warmer, which wouldn't really make much of a headline in a usual summer because we don't have a heat wave coming. We're not going to be breaking records, but we are going back up to a little above average. And by this summer standards, that's kind of weird. Let me show you what the Climate Prediction Center has to say about it. That's the image up here. So what we're looking at is the 8 to 14 day forecast period. So in other words, where the 7-day leaves off, and you go out another week. It's a probability map. So all this is communicating is what the degree of confidence is. The temperatures will either be above or below average. You don't see any below average on that map at all. But you do see some above average, certainly for the Northeast, nothing new for them this summer. But we finally find ourselves shaded into those bands of slightly red. Now, it doesn't go terribly dark, but it does get dark enough. So the odds are temperatures will be about above average. But you're going to see above average temperatures in this forecast. They're getting here by the end of next week, and they're nothing crazy. We really don't have anything that's going to be too overwhelming. Low 90s basically is coming our way. So let's go through that in order and show you what this will feel like. Let's start out, first of all, with tomorrow. I showed you the marine layer at the top of the newscast and how we're not going to have a whole lot of that tomorrow. You'll see more sunshine tomorrow than we've seen. And with more sunshine, we also get a little bit of a warm-up. So the numbers tomorrow for our inland microclimate, it's always a good kind of like canary in the coal mine to really gauge how serious a Bay Area warm-up is. You're barely average there. Concord's going to be in the mid-80s. 88 would be the average daytime high. You'll be right at 84. We'll go to 84 in Antioch and 7, 8, 9, 11 more. Okay, that's Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday pretty much going to hang out right here. And then by the middle of next week, things are going to start warming up even more. And for that, let's see what the numbers look like for Wednesday. I showed this to you a moment ago, but this is probably the peak warmth and maybe the headline of the whole forecast, at least of the 7-day forecast. The warm-up will settle in for the second half of next week, and this should probably be about tops. I don't see numbers getting higher than this for the whole 7-day, meaning after Wednesday and Thursday of next week, we'll probably even cool down a little bit going into next weekend before potentially we start warming up a little bit more after that. So a little bit of a change there. And the pattern overall, by the way, is finally starting to show signs of coming to a close. Let me show you what I mean by that. We'll look at some of the forecast imagery on here. And when we take a look at how this is playing out from a what's changing on the big picture standpoint, let's see if we can get our forecast monitor up. And you'll see how the area of low pressure, like seemingly endless areas of low pressure, which have been coming our way from the Pacific. There goes one right there. This is the one for the weekend, which is keeping us relatively quiet and cool and well-behaved. Those are going to start coming to an end by the time we get towards really this week. And that pattern starts coming to an end, and we're going to start to get back into more of a typical summer. So if you've been waiting for that, you should enjoy that. There is applause happening in the studio right now. There's the 7-day forecast with that warm-up. Okay, so we know by Wednesday and Thursday we got to go to the low 90s. And now we also know past that, likely getting into the next week after this one, we'll see temperatures staying in that range. Doesn't look any worse than that. Low 90s is about it. And here's the 7-day forecast for the Bay right now as well. So you can see what this will feel like. Maybe some morning marine layer, and that's about it. All right, Brian.
When I was shooting a story in the Concord Fault this past week.
Cool.
It was 102.
Oh, wow.
It was 102. So I'm kind of getting it. You know, the coast, freezing.
Yeah.
But it's a relief. It's a relief inland.
I bet
for that
it is.
marine layer.
Yeah.
As you well know. Coming up in sports, one Giants pitcher makes his first big league start in a Big Apple against the Mets. I will have that. And the answers to all of your sports questions next. While the Valkyries are wrapping up the long road trip, their practice facility in Oakland is getting pretty good use. Kelsey Thorud shows us how.
Have you ever wanted a chance to play your favorite sport on the actual court where your idols practice every day? Well, a lucky group of Valkyries fans are getting the chance to do exactly that this season.
It's awesome. It's like you're breathing holy air.
Lauren Bond is a Valkyries diehard who comes from a long line of basketball-obsessed people.
Our parents played, our grandparents played. Yeah, and then me and my sister both played at Berkeley High, and then did a bunch of like intramurals and also women's tournaments.
In partnership with Kaiser Permanente, the Valkyries invited Lauren, her sister, and close to 100 other lucky women to participate in an open gym session at the Valkyries Sephora Performance Center.
I think it's super cool, like being able to like step my foot on the court that these players are on. Like, you don't really get to do that often.
Players of all skill levels were invited to participate. Yasmin Ramirez is a student at USF and currently plays on a club team there.
It's super fun and getting to meet new people. I'm super excited, and to play ball, of course.
The goal, to give players a chance to both compete and connect with each other in a welcoming environment. Lauren Bond told me that's huge.
Like, we've all been there trying to play with dudes, and like dudes who are super bro-y and don't want to let you have space on the court and like make you prove yourself over and over again. And I think like that tends to really tie women on a court together. Like, I already just met like 3 people today, introduced ourselves cold, who were super nice.
The hope is to eventually open these sessions up to the public fully next season. Lauren told me she'd love to come back. Her goal this night, though, to get back into the game she's always loved and, of course, come out of it unscathed.
I'm telling everyone, I'm like, if I walk away today uninjured, it's a win.
And from sports to surf, surf is up for Pops in Pacifica. We'll take you down the coast for the Canine Surfing Championships when we come back. Well, surf's up for some brave pups and their owners in Pacifica. 'Tis the season they participated in the World Dog Surfing Championships. An annual event that brings dog lovers and their canine friends to the coast to ride the waves and win bragging rights and maybe even wagging rights. Today will be Coconuts. Oh, that's the name of the dog. First time competing in the event. Coconut?
We'll see how she does. We did a little test run early in the morning. She got quite scared of the big waves, the big white water, but we'll see what happens.
Sometimes you don't.
And if the turf was more your speed, they also held a costume contest, a wellness fair that offered pet massages and mobile pet adoptions. Boy, a lot of people show that kind of stuff. That's it for us at 5. By the way, I say us, but Andrea will be back next week. We'll see you back here at 6. CBS Weekend News is next. News updates are always on KPIX.com. See you in 30 minutes.